Hi everyone, hola, ¿cómo están? Well, this is a little bit different. We are not doing our normal Spanish class this week, and honestly, I don't know when we'll be able to come back. So, I thought we better have a little review about what needs to happen coming up, and then also I'm going to go over a couple of things with you so things aren't confusing and hopefully you have some good direction. So, first of all, I would love for you to either post on Facebook or text me or message me on Facebook your homework from last week. So that included one workbook page. If you have the workbook, it was on page 83. You also had to write out some answers to some questions on page 82. That was your listening activity. And then I also gave you a page that I printed off for you guys to do. So I think there was 3 different assignments and then also something on day 4, I believe. So those are the things I need you to take a picture of and send to me so that I can look over them, make sure you understand, and also give you credit for your homework for the week. So that was last week. You also had your verse that you're supposed to be working on, and obviously you're not telling that to your partner. I would love it for you to be able to tell someone in your family, or if you have a sibling that's in the class, or even a parent. It doesn't really matter if they speak Spanish or not. You can just work on those verses this week. Another way that we're going to do that over these next 2 weeks is that I'd like you to write out your verse 3 times each week to help you solidify and really remember and memorize that. So total for 2 weeks from now, I need you to have written out your verse 6 times. So that's the first part of your homework. We are going over some new vocabulary, so I'm going to do that really quick so that you guys have audio of your vocabulary for the week. I know a lot of you have a hard time getting your audio up, and that's even more important now that we're not in class together. So if you're watching this video at home and doing this as kind of your Spanish class tomorrow, on page 21 in your book, I'll hold this up. This is your vocab, your new vocab for the week. And we have just the same amount of vocab as we do anytime any new is introduced. So this is all going to be centered around, it says at the mall, the shopping center, and also some clothing items. So I'm going to go over those so that you guys can hear those, and then if you need to utilize that during the week, you can. So I will say it in English first and then in Spanish. The clothes store, la tienda de ropa. The shirt, la camisa. The pants, los pantalones. The ice cream, el helado. The shoe store, la zapateria. The socks, los calcetines. The shoes, los zapatos. The boots, los botas. The bookstore, la librería. The books, los libros. The magazines, las revistas. The parking lot, el aparcamiento. Sorry guys. El aparcamiento. The ice cream shop, la heladería. The coffee shop, la cafeteria. The coffee, el café. The sports store, la tienda de deportes. So as you can kind of see at the top, you have ice cream, which is el helado. So the ice cream shop or store is going to be la heladería. So if you're looking at these cafeteria, all these have these, a lot of these have these ia on the end, which kind of gives you an idea that it's a store. You have shoe, which is zapatos, and then the shoe store is la zapateria. So we have that ia on the end to kind of signify that it's the store. So I really want you to work on these vocabulary. I think day 1 says that you need to be doing flashcards. That's very important for memorizing. At the bottom of the vocab, you have the mandatos, which are paga, which is to pay, vende, sell, decide, decide, and ve, which is go. So those are your new mandatos, which I don't remember if we've gone over those or not, but those go kind of with this section of vocabulary and what we're going to be working on. I don't know, I'll see when I get your homework how everyone is doing with the quién, the qué, the dónde, and I want to make sure that you can interchange those how you need to for question words. Those are really important. Those help you be able to communicate better, ask questions. So if you don't understand those or how they interchange, then make sure that you message me or text me or call me, and I'll be happy to walk you through that part. So kind of review that, make sure that that's a part of what you're keeping up with, because at some point we will be having a quiz over that section. We're not doing that this week because we're not meeting, and I'm still trying to figure out a good way to proctor a test or a quiz, which I might just have to email to your parents and have them do for me. But next week, to kind of go back to what we're doing, if you have your workbook for the week, it's week 11, and I would like you to make sure that you're doing your 4 days like normal. On day 2, there are 10 questions, and I want you to make sure that you write those out on paper and answer those 10 questions. And then they have the audio and make the flashcards. You have 2 workbook sheets this week. And in the workbook, they're on page 89 and 91. And for those who are, to make sure that you have the correct ones, this is the first one. I will try to hold it up so you can see. That is your first page over the week for those who print off, and then the second has kind of a chart like this on the top. So what I'm going to do for next week for your quiz is, I guess it's an open book quiz. I am going to have you turn in your homework, and then I'm going to grade based on these 2 pages of your workbook. So just take care when you're doing those, do the best that you can. Do it slowly because these 2 will be counted as your test grade. Your homework grade is going to come from your Bible verses that you are going to be writing. And I also want you to make sure that you answer the questions in the book. I think it was on page or day 2. So those questions are going to be a part of your homework as well. So those are the 2 things that are helpful for your homework. Your 2 actual workbook pages are going to be what counts for your test and your quiz grade for the last 2 weeks. So I do have an extra credit for anyone who has just copious amounts of time quarantined at home. On your week 10, let me make sure I have that right. I might have gotten from wrong. I'll have to find the right page so I can give you that for anyone who might want the extra time or the extra credit, because I don't have the right page now. I don't think I wrote it down. I had another thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. We have group projects that you guys have been working on. Some of you are further than others with the game that we're doing, and because I'm unsure what this is going to look like for the next 6 weeks that we really have left of co-op, I want to give you some options if you're not able to meet or figure out how to work on this as a group. I know a couple of the groups really have worked hard and are near finishing and maybe can do that by texting or calling. So if that's you, great, just finish your project together and that will count for your end of the year project. If you're not so far with your group and you're feeling like, man, this is not going to work so well, we can't meet before co-op, we don't know how this is going to look, I am going to give you a couple of options. First, you're going to have to contact your group so that you can decide as a group what you're going to do. And I'm fine if, say, you have 2 people who want to finish the board game together and you have 3 people and the third person wants to do an individual project. That's fine as long as there's at least 2 people in the group to finish the game. If no one wants to finish the game together, you just don't think that's going to work with what's going on with everyone else, then these are some of your project options. Now I believe that there's 5 with your game. What you'll need to do is in the next week, you'll need to communicate with each other by next Wednesday, so not when we would have co-op again, in 1 week. You need to let me know what your decision is, because if it is not the game, then I'm going to send you the information for whatever project you chose. So I'm going to post a picture of this nice little card that I wrote out your assignments and also the project ideas so that you can kind of think about it if you need to. The first one is obviously continue working on the project that you already started with your group, the game project. The second is to make a commercial. And that would be kind of a commercial explaining an area of where you live. So you'd have to go and videotape and do your commercial in Spanish and have English subtitles. And so that might be right up your alley, or you might be like, that's way too hard. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. So that's kind of up to you. You're going to have to figure out if that's something that you would like to do or you're interested in. The next one is write and illustrate a simple children's book. And this would use some of the vocabulary that we've done all year. And you have a specific amount of pages and things to work on, but that might be something. Then the next one is you can do a Spanish restaurant project. That would include doing a Spanish menu, kind of a layout of a restaurant, and there was one other thing that was included in that project. So that might be something that you would be interested in. And then the third is you would interview someone who is from a Spanish or Latin American country whose first language is English or Spanish and who has grown up most of their life in a Spanish-speaking country. If you would like to interview them and write a paper report on that, that is another option. So those are all different options that you can do as a individual project. If you think that'd be a lot easier to do by the end of the year, you still have, I would even give you a couple extra weeks if you feel like you need to do it into May. So those are the projects. I will post a picture of this on Facebook or text it to the group if you guys would like it that way as well. But that kind of gives you an idea of what some options are. And again, I really need to have that back from you in a week so I know that there's a decision made with your group and that you have a plan. So the extra credit, I have it written here, is actually page 22 in your book, and there is a whole Simon Says that is like a game that you can play, but for your extra credit, one, you need to play that with someone, maybe I don't know, a sibling or someone over the phone even, I don't care, and then translate the Simon Says bullet points into English. So that is your extra credit if you would like to do that. And then I have written down your homework on the first part and also the project requirements. So if you have any questions, feel free to call me or text me anytime. I'm happy to help with that. And hopefully that gives you a good start on what you need to be doing and also gives you a little bit with the audio in case you have trouble with that. So give me a call if you need anything, and I hope you guys have a very great week. Tengan buen semana. Espero que todos están bien y gracias para tu trabajo y que todo estás haciendo. So thanks guys for all your hard work, and I hope we can meet soon, but we'll see. We might have to be doing it this way for a little while. So we'll talk to you soon.